What's up, YouTube? I am so excited about this new series that I'm doing in 2021. What I'm going to do is I am taking side hustles that people say you can make money at, and I'm going to do them myself. I'm going to see if it is actually possible to make money, the amount of money that people say you can do, that you can make. I get ads run on my Facebook all the time saying you can make up to X amount of dollars per month by doing this. I get blog posts that say pay your rent if it's over $800 by doing these things. And I've been reading into them. I've been doing my studies, and I've been seeing that some of these just aren't a reality and they aren't possible for the average person to make money doing them. It's just a bunch of clickbait. They're putting a headline out there so that you will click on it and they will get reads and they will generate money that way, but it's just really not possible for the average person. And I'm kicking this off by donating plasma. So over the past couple weeks, I have been donating plasma, and I am going to walk you through step by step what your first visit looks like, and then traveling through, going to your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth visit, and seeing how much money you can actually make by doing this. So keep watching, keep following, and I'm about to walk you through your first visit, what you need, and then we're going to look at what your next visits after that look like. All right, now your first visit. So these sponsorships, these promotions and all of that, they say, hey, you can make up to $700 a month donating plasma. $700 a month. And some say you can make $60, $70 an hour by donating plasma. So I see these on my Facebook all the time, and I thought, I'm going to try it out. One of my buddies and coworkers, Levi, he started doing it and actually piqued my interest because his numbers were actually adding up to what these promotions say. So I figured, why not try it myself, make a little extra cash, because multiple streams of income is extremely important. You've heard me talk about this. Even like when COVID-19 hit, people were losing their jobs and cut out their income. And when you have multiple streams of income, you're able to protect yourself. You're able to pandemic-proof your bank account. No matter what happens, if you have multiple streams of income, you are not limiting yourself and you're able to earn more income. So this is one of those things that I've heard about, that I've been interested in doing, but I haven't really done it. And I decided I'm going to try it. So on your first visit, you can expect to spend 2 to 2.5 hours at your plasma donation place. It took me a little over 2.5 hours, but I'm a talker. I was talking to the nurse. I was talking to everybody. I love people. I love to talk to people. I love to share the gospel with people. So this gave me an opportunity, but I talk more than the average person. So your average visit is going to be anywhere between 2 to 2.5 hours. So what this is going to look like is your first step is you're going to walk in and you're going to go up to the counter, and you're going to need, you're going to verify your identification. And how you do this in Oklahoma is you have to have a government issued ID. So you have to have a driver's license, passport, or something along those lines that is a government issued ID card with a picture. So I took in my passport, I took in my handgun carry license, and I took in my driver's license. And then you're going to have a piece of mail that is valid within 30 days. So I took in a medical statement from my insurance company, and it had my name, my address, and it had a date on there. That was important. So I went in, I think, December 15th, and the date on it was December 5th. So that's valid because it's within 30 days. And then you need something that has your name and your social security number on it. So if you have a social security card, you can take that. If you don't, you can take a W-2 from your past year's tax returns, and that will work. See, I ran into a problem. My first trip in, I didn't have the information that I'm giving you. So I went in and they asked me for these verifications, and I didn't have any of them on me. What was I thinking? Oh, I'm just going to go in and donate plasma. I'm going to give my blood and not have to verify who I am. I was dumb, but I just didn't have this information that I'm giving you guys. So this is extremely important information for you. So be sure, because you don't want to go up there, wait in line, and jump through all these hoops, and then them say, oh, you don't have this piece of information, so you have to go home. You can come back and try again later. That's what happened to me. So then I showed up the second time. The next day I showed up and I had all of my verification, but I got denied again. See, my name's Michael David Wilson II, but on every piece of documentation it just said Michael D. Wilson. So I didn't have any documentation that had my social security number and my full name, because I don't have a social security card. I need to go get one, but my schedule is so busy that I don't have time to go sit at the Social Security office to get this card. So I was denied because I'm a second and none of my paperwork match up. So it's extremely important, extremely important that all of your documentation signs up. My government issue ID said Michael D. Wilson II, but then everything else said Michael D. Wilson, so they denied me. So what I did is I went to my local bank, and they have all your information. And what I did was I went and I got my member ID printout, and I took that. On my third visit, I was able to donate. So your first step is to verify who you are, and if you have a Roman numeral after your name, or you're a junior or something weird with your name, make sure that all of your information lines up and that it is all the same, or they will not let you donate. So your second thing that you're going to do after you verify your information is they're going to give you a packet of paperwork that you're going to fill out, that you're going to read and you're going to sign off on. And what this is basically explaining what this process is, what's happening. They're pulling blood from you, they're taking out the plasma, then they're putting the red blood cells back into your body, and that's how you can donate twice a week. So typically when you donate blood, there's a longer period of time because you have to regenerate all those red blood cells. But when they do plasma, they're pulling the plasma, they're extracting the plasma out of your blood, and then they're pushing your red blood cells back into your body, and you can regenerate plasma within 48 hours. So this allows you to donate twice a week. And you'll read through this, and it's giving consent for them to take your fingerprints, for them to pull the blood and extract the plasma, and all these things. So you'll do that. That takes probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. You go up and they're going to ask you a question, and they're going to ask you, I can't remember the wording, but what it is they're going to ask you what this certain thing means, and what it means is you're giving them access to check your fingerprint, check your retina, whatever way that they do it, to make sure that you understand that and you didn't just sign it. So they might ask you a question. So while you're reading, don't just go in there and flip to the last page and sign it. Be sure that you read through it and do all that. So you're going to then turn that in, and they're going to send you to another room, or at least in Oklahoma they did. They sent me to another room with a computer. They gave me some headphones, and I watched a 17-minute video. So the 17-minute video, what it did is it told me the exact same thing that I just read through, except somebody's reading it to me. They're explaining what donation of plasma is, and they're saying that you have to fill out these questions, basically walking you through the whole process and telling you what you need to expect on your next visit. So the first visit it takes a long time, but after that, it's not as long. So you watch this video, then you go out. You'll then be directed to fill out health questions, So this is something that you do before every donation, is you fill out these questions. And at your local donor place, they'll have kiosks there that you go through and you fill it out, you answer the questions. Have you had a tattoo in the past 4 weeks or a touch-up? Have you had ear piercings? Have you had acupuncture? Do you have AIDS? Do you know what AIDS is? Do you know what HIV is? So there's a bunch of questions that are basically just health checkup questions. Your first 2 visits, you're going to have roughly 60 questions to answer. And then after that, I think it's like 21 to 23 questions. And they're the same questions every week, but you have to have those filled out before you can donate. So when you're filling these questions out, to enter in, you're going to enter your birth date, and it's going to bring up a picture, and you're going to accept that if that's you. And if it's not, you're going to raise your hand and have a tech help you get that done. But the way you walk through this is you answer that question, you put in your birth date, you say, yes, this is me, and then you're going to fingerprint, and it's going to open up the questions. So then you answer your questions, and then be sure, listen, this is important, put your fingerprint back on there after you've answered the questions. Because if you don't, it will not save your answers. This morning, whenever I went to donate, the app wasn't working, so typically I fill it out on my app. That way when I go in, I can go straight to the screening room. But this morning, the app wasn't working, so I had to do it the old school way, went up to the kiosk, filled everything out, and I didn't use my fingerprint because I'm used to using the app. So I wait in line for 15 minutes to get in to see a screener, and they say, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, but your questions did not save, so you need to go back out to the kiosk and you need to fill it out. So I had to wait in line again for a kiosk, fill out the same questions that I just filled out, and then go wait in line again for another 10 minutes to see a screener so that I could go donate. You don't want to do this. So be sure you use your fingerprint to enter into the questions, and you use your fingerprint as you exit out. Now, if you're using your phone, if your donation place has an app, I recommend downloading the app and doing it through the app before you go to donate. That way it just fast tracks everything. You don't have to worry about fingerprints, yada, yada, yada. You're just in and out. You're in and out a lot quicker. So then you go, after you answer your questions, you go into a screening room. There's going to be a worker on one side, and what they're going to do is they're going to tell you to hold out your arms, lift up your arms, lift up your elbows, and what they're doing is they are looking for track marks, they're looking for any open wounds or cuts or anything like that, because they're going to give you something, a blood thinner, that's going to make you bleed more because they are pulling the blood from your body. So when they do that, they want to check and make sure you don't have any cuts that are open that are going to cause any problems, and also looking for track marks and stuff like that. So then after they do that, they're going to prick your finger and they're going to pull some blood, and then they're going to run it through a machine that tells them all different kinds of things that I don't know anything about. It's above my pay grade. But then they check to make sure that you're able to donate. So they check whatever in the blood that is needed to give the donation. And if you're over or under on certain levels, then they won't let you donate. So you're going to go through this screening process, and after they're done with the screening process, you'll then go out and you'll be allowed to go wait in line to go to your bed to donate. So you go in and you lay on your bed. They're going to put a needle in your arm and they're going to extract your blood. And if you don't like needles, this might not be the best option for you. In my opinion, it doesn't hurt, but needles don't bother me, and I have a pretty high pain tolerance. So for me, it's no big deal. I can go do it twice a week and have no problems. But if you have a phobia of needles, or if you've had trouble giving blood or whatever, this might not be the right option for you. I would research it more and just see if you're up to it. So then you donate your plasma, and the plasma, so this machine is going to pull it out of you, and you pump your hand. So they don't give you a like little squeeze ball for blood pumping. So if you have one, I would bring it, because it makes it a lot quicker and a lot easier, and your hands don't hurt as bad. But if you do have one, you can use it. If you don't have one, no big deal. You're just going to have to do this to pump it. The machine is going to tell you what to do. So there's 3 lights. There's a green light, orange light, and a red light. So the green light means you have normal blood flow. So when you're squeezing, you have normal blood flow when it's pulling. And if you quit squeezing, then it's going to go to yellow, and it's going to say slow blood flow. And then if it goes red, that means there's no blood flow at all, and you need to start pumping quick. So you only pump when your cuff tightens. So they put a cuff on you, and that will restrict the blood. And anytime that cuff is tight, you're supposed to squeeze, and you're supposed to pump the blood through. So this also goes on your body weight. So I weigh about 167 pounds. I think that's what I weighed this morning. So for me, my donation amount is smaller, because the amount of plasma you give is off of how much you weigh. So I'm in the middle category, so I gave like 3/4 of a bottle. I don't know how much that is, but it takes me roughly 45 minutes to give my donation amount. And now, what you've been waiting for. How much money do you make? So I've done 3 donations, and I have made $180. This is a great side hustle. Now you need to know that according to your place, it might be different than mine. There is your first 6 donations are $60 a piece. And then after that, your donation goes off of how much you weigh. I'm in the middle weight class. There's 3 different weight classes, and the smallest weight class, so if you're lighter than a certain amount, then you will get $40 per donation. If you're in my weight class, you get $44 per donation. And if you're in the heavier class, which I'm right on the edge, I think it's like 175 or something like that, you get $48. So after your first 6 donations, you start making that amount, that rate that they have according to your weight and how much you give. So your first 6 donations, you make $60 per donation. And then after that, you make $40 to $48 according to your weight. This is a great side hustle, because it only takes 45 minutes to an hour from beginning to end. So this morning, with all of my hiccups with not using my fingerprint and everything, I was still out of there in like an hour and 5 minutes or something like that. But if you follow all the stuff, I mean, my second donation, I was out of there in 40 minutes from beginning to end. So this is an easy way to make some quick cash, to pay a car payment, to pay extra towards your debt so that you can get your debt knocked out. And you can make upwards of $5,000 a year doing this. And it only takes 2 hours per week, because you can make 2 donations in 1 week, but you have to have a day in between. So now here's the kicker. So you can actually make more money if you've had COVID. There is pay for antibodies. So if you can prove that you have antibodies, you get paid $100 each donation, no matter what. So if my typical rate is $44 per donation, but I have the antibodies, I get paid $100 per donation. That is $800 per month, as long as the antibodies are in your system. So if you have an antibodies check and it says that you have the antibodies, take it in, and make that extra money. This experience with donating plasma is a great experience. I've had a great experience, and I'm going to continue doing it. I'm going to continue doing it, and I'm going to continue paying off debt. I'm going to continue winning with money. I'm going to be checking out other types of side hustles that you can make money from. Some of these are going to be side hustles that you could turn into a full-time hustle. Now, this donating plasma is not something that you can do and quit your day job, because you are capped on how much you can do. But some of these side hustles that I'm going to try out, you could actually turn into a full-time job and quit your day job, find freedom, and do stuff you love and live the life that you love. So next week, we're going to be talking about home inspections. So I have a home inspection business, and I'm going to be walking you through how much it costs to start the business, how long it takes to get licensed, and how much you can expect to make in your first year according to how much work you want to put into it. That is definitely one that you can turn into a full-time job and own your schedule, live a life of freedom, and still make good money. If you found this video to be helpful, to add value, leave a review, like, comment, let me know. If you have some side hustles that you think, I wonder if that works, let me know, because I want to try it. I want to know. I've got TaskRabbit, Shipt, DoorDash. I've got multiple different ones that I'm going to be working, but I'm always open to finding out new ones. So I love you guys, and I can't wait to share my experiences and if you can actually make money doing these things. So I love you. Subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notifications on all this. And remember, you need multiple streams of revenue in your life so that you can pandemic-proof your bank account.